everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to be doing a demonstration and honest and unsponsored review of the Fiskars ProCision Rotary Bypass Trimmer. And nope, it's not in the box because I've had this for, I don't know, maybe 5 years now. I just happen to still have the box and wanted to use it to show you that it says it will cut chipboard, cork, burlap paper, vinyl, foam, and more. And I'm going to be demonstrating a lot of the things that this will cut later in the video. So let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you a lot of the features as well as demonstrating what it can cut. But the first thing I wanted to show you is how easily it fits onto my craft table without taking up a lot of room, and that it opens up with a folding deck to hold your 12 by 12 materials. And I absolutely love that it's a folding deck instead of just arms that fold out. I also wanted to point out that it has measurements that are on both the left side and the right side and the center, and those measurements are in both inches and centimeters. And another wonderful feature is that it has a dual rail system that eliminates blade wiggle for straight, precise cuts, and you'll see more of that in my demo. Because I couldn't get my camera set up into my other craft room, I had to bring this into where I record, so the table obviously looks different. And what I'm going to do is first I want to show you the features, and then later I'm going to demo what it can cut. And I'm going to tell you right now, probably the first thing I'm going to show you is the one flaw that I have found with this. And I've heard that since I've bought mine, they've come out with one that actually eliminates that problem. And actually for me, it has never been a problem. But I will show you that first. So first of all, this doesn't take up a lot of room. You know, you can see, and it opens up like so. And here's where the flaw is right down the center. The measurements, we have 5, 5 1/4, 5 1/2, and then it jumps to 6 right there. So if you wanted something between 5 1/2 and 6, it doesn't work well. But that doesn't bother me because I usually make A2 size cards, which are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so they fit on here. Or I make 5 by 7, so 5 and 7 fits on here. And everything, you know, the layers, they're all smaller than that, so they'll all fit in these spaces. So I've never really had the need to do something like at 5 3/4 inches. I haven't had that. But that's the only flaw that I've had with this. Absolutely only flaw. So I'm telling you that right up front because this is an honest review, and if there's a flaw, you're going to hear about it from me. So now let me close this back up again, and I want to address another issue. If anybody's worried that it's too heavy, this 65-year-old woman with weak wrists can pick this up with no problem, open this up with no problem, put it back with no problem. So honestly, it's really not that heavy. Now here's the dual rail system that I mentioned. So there are 2 rails that this slides along. I have seen them with just 1 rail, but this really is going to stabilize it. Whereas 1 rail, it might, you know, tilt over time, but these are 2 solid rails that sits on. It is a rotary blade, so it's underneath there. You never have to replace it. It sharpens itself as it goes along. No problem. I have had this, like I said, I think for maybe 5 years. I've had it for a long time. And I've never had a problem with it cutting anything. It cuts everything beautifully, as you will see in a little while. It has this that flips up, and you can stick your paper underneath there and put it back down. And actually, hold on 1 second. I wanted to grab a piece of paper to show you. So you put it in there. Now, I like to hold it down and then cut. And I'll be showing you that later. I'm not cutting this piece of paper. But it also has a little switch over here that you can move, and it holds it down for you. I've never really used that, but it's a nice feature to have. And while I have this piece of 12 by 12 here, let me open this back up again. because there was something else I wanted to show you. So, not only does it fit on here, but you'll see there's extra space. That's so that you can read the numbers down the side. Or you can move it this way and read the numbers down the side, depending on where you want to put it and what you're cutting. I guess I'll show you more of that later also while I'm cutting other materials, because there's sometimes I like to pull it toward me and sometimes I like to push it away, and that might, depend on, what I'm cutting, and then I'll put it up against that side or this side. But I just wanted you to see that it easily fits your 12 by 12 papers. It actually goes to 13 inches, and like I said, has space on either side, so you'll always be able to see the measurements. And back to this piece again. It's a paper guard. I love it because you can see through it, so you can always see right where your paper is at. Again, you can use your fingers and hold it down here, hold it down there, use this to hold it down. Another thing is, you see how it comes up? But if this is going across, it's going to not let it go all the way up. So just thought I would point that out. That's not a flaw, actually. I think it's just to keep your paper from sliding if you accidentally lifted it. Measurements also, I don't know if you can see through there, but the measurements also go all the way up onto this side as well. So lots of measurements, including right in the middle up there. So you will always be able to see your measurements pretty much no matter what you are cutting. Let me think if there's any other features I wanted to point out. It doesn't slide. It has these really nice legs right here. They're I want to say rubber, but they're non-skid, and they are, let me flip this over here, they're on this side as well, so you never have to worry about this slip sliding all over the place while you are trying to cut your papers, because it's pretty sturdy. I mean, okay, look at that, I'm tipping it over, but it's sturdy, meaning it's not going to slide all over the place. But obviously if you're going to push it over, it's going to go over. I'm trying to think of what else I can tell you about the wonderful features of this. So I think now we're going to move on to the demonstration of what it cuts. Okay, I have a pile of things over here that we're going to cut. Most of them are scraps, but this first one is not, and I needed to open this up for that because this is magnetic sheet, and I use this for putting my my metal dies on, and I want to cut it to a certain size. So I want this to be 6 inches, so I'm just bringing it right over there and cutting it just like that. Did you see how easy that was? And normally I think I would have pulled that toward myself just out of habit, so that I have more strength coming this way, but it cut beautifully going that way. So that was magnets. Let's see, next on my list here, let me close this up now because I don't think anything else needs to be that big. I'm just using scraps. This is craft foam. So I'll put that in, and let's do that at 2 inches. Don't ask me why. And there we go. It cuts it just like butter. And I'm telling you, these are perfectly straight. It's not even like I have other trimmers where I'll end up with one side bigger than the other. These are perfect. Okay. How about a piece of pizza box cardboard? Okay. We're going to cut a piece of cardboard. And this time I'll put it on this side, just to show you that there's stoppers on both sides, no matter where you want to put it. And I'll put it on this side. It doesn't matter what size I cut it at, and boom, that's how easy it cuts. Fabulous, right? Okay, let's see what else. They said it can cut cork, and I have these cork sheets, so let's give that a try. Let me see, you know what? I'll cut it in half at 3 inches because it was 6 inches. Boom, that easy. Okay, let me see. Oh, this is what's going to be really fun. Hold on a second here. I have these sheets. Let me flip it over. Hold on here. Making a mess. I have these sheets. They're actually clear, but they have blue protective layers on them. I use these for like picture frame kind of things because this is plastic. Let me flip it over again so I can tell you that it is clear craft plastic. Okay, And this is just a scrap of it, and it already had that part coming off. I mean the blue. So I'll peel it off in a minute and show you. So I'm just going to put it right there and cut it, and then I'll show you what this is. Let me see if I can get the blue off easily here. Come on. There we go. So it peels off on both sides. And this plastic is great. I love this stuff. Don't ask me where I got it. I've had it for years. But there you go. It's great for picture frames. Alright, so that was another thing. Let me move some of this out of the way really quick.
Answers contributor that
okay.
I translate.
How about a piece of cardstock? Alright. We'll just put that in. Here, I'll put it in on this side since I'm already here. And up against the edge. Boom. It cuts. You know what? I've never tried this before, so I'm going to go ahead and try this. I've got two pieces together here. And it cuts it just fine. Beautiful. So I've heard you can cut 2 or 3 pieces of cardstock, but I'm going to show you other things that are thicker than cardstock. So here, hold on a second. How about watercolor paper? We all know how stiff and sturdy watercolor paper is. So let's cut that. Boom. There we go. That easy. And these pieces are perfectly straight. That is one of the things I love about this. Like I said, I've had some other ones, especially the guillotine ones, and everything goes at an angle. I can never get them straight if my life depended on it. And as you notice, I'm not using this clip over here at this end. I'm just using my hand to hold it down. So that was watercolor paper. And a scrap of glitter cardstock. Let's try that. So boom, glitter cardstock. And printer paper. So let's cut that like butter. Okay, now maybe you guys are wondering, how does it cut something like vellum? Okay, well, let's find out. Put a piece of vellum in here. This end has a whole lot cut out of it, so it's not that sturdy as if it was, you know, solid, but it doesn't matter. And again, I'm just using my fingers to hold this down. And there we go. Cuts vellum beautifully. Okay. I've never done this before. This is tissue paper. Never done this before, but I'm willing to do it right here on camera so that you can find out, does it work? Does it not work? So let's put a piece of tissue paper in here. Again, I'm holding that down, and oh man, beautiful. Look at that. Even tissue paper. Beautiful. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we haven't cut yet. Okay. Vinyl. A scrap here. I do a lot of vinyling, and I count on this. So let's see. Beautifully cuts the vinyl. Now, I was looking for a piece of chipboard, and I couldn't find it. Now, this stuff is pretty much almost equivalent to chipboard, but some chipboards are thicker. So I'm going to put 2 of these pieces together. And let me see. There we go. I'm going to put 2 pieces together. Okay, so we have 2 pieces here. And we're going to see how it cuts. So let me just stick it in here. And I'll move this one up against the board. Okay, so they're both up against the board. 2 pieces thick. Are you ready for this? Okay, it did move the end of it, but it cut it beautifully. So it did move. I'm not going to hide that. I'm not going to cut it out of the video. It did move, but I was putting a lot of force on that at an, different angle, but doesn't matter. So there we go. It did cut through there just fine. Actually, would you guys like to see if it cuts through 3? Just out of curiosity, because this stuff's really thick, okay? So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this again, okay? And then we've got a piece right here. Now it's 3 thick. Let me see. We'll just put them together like that. All right. So it's in there really good. We've got 3 pieces. This time I'm actually going to use this little flippy doodle down here at the end because this is pretty thick. Okay, you guys ready? Oh man, is it going to do it? Nope. Okay, there you go. We just found out that I cannot do 3 pieces thick with this, but I tried. It actually did. Actually, look, I just couldn't get it all the way. That was probably my muscles. Like I said, I am a 64-year-old person with weak hands, and everything you've seen me do has been a 64-year-old one, or 65. I'll be 65 by the time you see this. Anyways, because my birthday's coming up. But I do not have strong hands. I actually have some hand issues. Wear compression gloves sometimes, and I was still able to, look at this, it cut. I just wasn't strong enough to get it all the way. So actually, I'm going to have to say that was a win for this. It does cut 3 thick. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have just seen me cut almost any thickness and type of material that you can think of to go through here. And I'm going to have to say this is an absolute score. I know it has been for me. Like I said, I've had this for about 5 years. I have never had a problem cutting anything I needed to cut. I've never tried cutting 3 layers of this before, but I have never had a problem cutting anything that I needed to cut, and the blade still works, and it sharpens itself. And even after that, hold on a second, let's stick another piece of vinyl in, because you're saying, oh my God, what did she do to it when she was trying to cut through there? And it still cuts beautifully. So there you go. That is my demo of this. There is a new paper trimmer out, a name brand. I am not going to say what it is, but it's by somebody really famous and a name brand. And it cost a few more dollars than this, but basically about the same price. But this is just a few dollars cheaper. And honestly, I've seen the other one, which is what actually kind of got me interested in doing the review and demo, besides the fact that a few people have also asked me. But I believe this one has more features and better features than the other one. The other one is a single rail. This is a double rail. The other one has legs that come out. This one has an entire platform that comes out. It's not just little legs on the side. So, if you had a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, you don't want it sinking in the middle just because you only have 2 legs. So this one has a whole platform, which is an amazing thing, and it folds away just like the other one's legs fold away. Well, this one folds away underneath. And so I just think that this is the better deal of all of them that I have ever seen, and all of them that I have ever owned, and all of them that I've ever seen demos and reviews on. I think this is the absolute best. I am not sponsored by them. I paid for this. I paid for this years ago. So this has nothing to do with Fiskars or anything. This was all me. All me. Honest review. You got to see everything, and I pointed out the one and only flaw that doesn't affect me whatsoever. So it's not a flaw to me. So there you go. Thank you all for watching, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.